Welcome back to Maximum Production, a Holstein Friesian New Zealand podcast about everything to do with cows. I'm Amelia, and today I am talking to the two new directors who joined the Holstein Friesian New Zealand Board of Directors this June. So joining me today is Bradley Parks, a dairy farmer from Taranaki, and Bradley is our first ever appointed director on the Holstein Friesian Board, and Braydon Schroder, a consultant with Parent Ag, based in the Bay of Plenty, who is the first associate director to join the board. So thank you, Bradley and Braydon, for joining me today so willingly.
Great to be here, Amelia.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So I'll start with Bradley. Do you want to give us a bit of a background about you, how you got to where you are today?
Yep. Thank you, Amelia. Well, my background is that I'm about the fourth generation pedigree breeder in my family. So we first recorded registered animals back in the war. About 1942 was one side of my family and 1946 was the other side of my family. So my mum and my dad were from pedigree breeders. Mum from the Bay of Plenty in Wakatani, just out of Wakatani there was where her family was from. And then my dad was from Marlborough, Turmarina, just out of Blenheim there. That's where he was born and bred. And then I was born in a little place called Linkwater, which is just in the Marlborough Sounds, and have always been around pedigree cows, always been involved, shown when we were younger and all that. And then, always did cattle fitting for about 12 to 15 odd years, pretty much full time. And then now with my wife, we run her family farm in Taranaki. So that's pretty much where I've come from and where I'm up to now.
You are not the first Parks to be on the Holstein Friesian Board of Directors, is that correct?
No, my great uncle, Basil Parks, he was on the board, and then I think, if I'm right, he was actually the youngest ever president elected back a long time ago. But we lost Uncle Basil last year, so he didn't get to hear that I was on there, but I know for quite some time he has always told me that I should be.
It's always great when we have, I guess, like legacies coming through. Our current president, Graham Stewart, his father was also on the board of directors and was a president as well. So it's great to see the family lines coming through. Braydon, do you want to give us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today?
So similar to Bradley, had those family ties at a young age to Holstein Friesian, not quite as far back. Sounds awesome how far back that was. My family was born, sort of raising Holstein Friesians in the Tararoa region, and so I was born and raised there and got into showing cows at a young age. Got into showing over in Australia after a trip over there through Holstein Friesian. So then studied at Lincoln University down in Canterbury and then Guelph over in Canada, in which I also fitted cows for 6 months across Canada. And then did a bit of travel after uni into Brazil, scholarship there, looking at different farm systems. Then a year consulting, and the last 5 years sort of after that, half my time is still consulting, but the other half more so operating or running larger corporate farms, multi-trust and family farms. So that's what I sort of do on a daily basis with Parent Ag. My cows, my personal cows are housed in a number of places. But thank you very much to John Allen and my parents and the Hills in Australia, who do great care, and I trust them like no tomorrow, looking after my prize possessions. Yeah, so I've got mainly Holstein Friesian animals. We also have an Angus stud as well. But my time at Parent Ag, the last 5 years, I run a 1,200 cow operation. That's mainly self-contained. Got about 8 staff from there. One I was at today, just in Otorako, which is on the coastal Bay of Plenty, irrigated 330 cows on lovely Kaikuyu, which we try to fight, but unfortunately it's inevitable. And what I'm pretty much doing at the moment is half of that and half of sort of system review and financial analysis for other clients around the motu.
Sounds interesting. Keeps you busy.
Sure does.
And so this is not your first involvement with Holstein Friesian, I guess, committee levels and things like that. You were previously on the Black and White Youth Committee a few years ago, is that right?
Yeah, quite a while ago when I was at university, I think it must have been a year or two, as part of the Black and White Youth Committee. It was a good way to gauge and understand a bit more as to what was happening and what involvement we could help with, I suppose, to bring on new events and help new events or help existing events for youth. So that was, it was quite enjoyable time. I think more so I've had a lot more experience after that. Now that I'll be able to contribute far more in any kind of governance roles. So since then, had a number of different governance roles and have completed a number of governance courses, including the Mayfield governance course. Now I'm actually currently on the New Zealand Jersey Association's governance program too, which I think through a lot of those things have put me in a position where I can add a bit of value to this board through process and understanding where risks and other organisations fall short. And in my probably day-to-day job, more than anything, my financial acumen and background may be able to add value to this board.
So, Bradley, as you said, you're farming in Taranaki. Do you want to just give us a bit of a background around the system that you and Nicole are running on her family farm? How many cows you're milking? Your breeding objectives, just things like that.
We're milking about 250 cows overall, which 110 pedigree Holsteins and the rest mainly Jerseys. Nicole seems to like 4 Ayrshires for some reason. But yeah, so that's the way that we fit them in. Her family is the Jersey breeders, so that's why we've got to keep a few more Jerseys than Holsteins. Our breeding objectives, just breeding functional milk cows, really. We like good wide rumps, high wide rear udders, capacious cows, just all things to make them functional and long lasting. We run a pretty basic system, I suppose you'd say. We do feed a little bit of meal and a little bit of maize, but it's mainly just grass and pasture. A little bit of in-shed feed there, as I say, with meal, but it's nothing too extraordinary. But it's just a nice, easy system for us to run, so it's good.
So I guess my next question's kind of been answered a little bit, but what kind of made you both become members of Holstein Friesian New Zealand or a breed society? Do you think it was mainly kind of input from your family or just something that you thought, this is a great opportunity for me to just follow in and I find the information that you can get through it quite interesting?
Probably for me, it was a little bit of family, but it was also a lot of competitions and stuff available. I was actually one of the first recipients of the Romanek trip to Australia. So I went over there when I was 19, and then just those involvements with other breeders and other people. I really enjoy talking about cows. I like talking about how people have bred cows and created stuff. So that's mainly why I sort of become a member. I wanted to carry on with that communication and talking to like-minded people and being able to receive the scholarships or the awards or doing, production awards with cows and that sort of stuff. But I do enjoy showing cows, and that's why I've done it for a long time, and that's probably the other side of it. I just, being able to do that with pedigree cows and being involved with the people that do have pedigree cows would be one of the main reasons why I carried on as a member.
Yeah, pretty similar reasons here too, Bradley. I think the main one that started off was being part of the youth with all the network there and the learning from the youth camps, and same trip actually, not the first one, but later on was on the Romanek trip to Australia. I'm very privileged to go over there and meet a few Aussie contacts that I still actually now own cows with and compete over there regularly, except for COVID time. Other parts of it were, probably more so now a member. The other opportunities, probably when first brought my cows, first few animals, and then I received my first calves after making breeding decisions. That's where I was hooked. So really loved seeing that rewarding feeling of what you were able to produce or what you're able to decide to do and produce. And then seeing others produce other great animals from certain bulls that are out there, really love the idea of being able to improve the genetics for our country, let alone a certain herd, let alone my own animal. So all of those just really excite me. That's why part of my job I always get involved with some of those conversations when I'm on farm. The other sort of parts of it is probably more so now is all the competitions, all the networks, all the people that are involved with it, other members. It's great to be able to have that network of people that are also passionate about something I'm also passionate about. So for me, it's mostly a hobby, but it's one of my favourite hobbies, and I have a strong passion for the association and our breed, and so having other people, having that same passion and drive to improve the breed is always exhilarating, I suppose, and gives you energy. And so for me, it gives me a lot of energy being a member and being a part of conversations with people and breeding.
I like that. I always call it, your pedigree community, and pedigree people are always special, and they're slightly different to, your normal farmers just because they're so passionate, which it's the reason why I got the job that I'm in, is because I love dealing with people that are passionate about farming and cows. And so it's really great to see that you're both benefiting from that by being part of a breed society and able to draw from that to get those benefits, like those trips and the competitions like Bradley mentioned as well. And I guess on top of that, you're both judges. Braydon's on our associate judges list still. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and Bradley's not only a senior judge, but he has also been an overjudge for our judging schools since 2021. So that opportunity, I think, as well, has given you that benefit with being part of the association. Would you agree with that, Bradley?
Yeah, no, it's another reason why to be a member. It's like what I call a holiday, is being able to go around and look at people's cattle and assess them and show and judge them. And then, again, it's that communication, it's talking, it's getting around like-minded people and having discussions about our breed and what we're involved and passionate about.
Awesome. So shall we talk a little bit about your role on the board? So starting with you, Bradley, as I mentioned, you are our first appointed director to the Holstein Friesian board. Do you just want to explain to our listeners what that means and the difference between that and our other board directors like Graham Stewart and Owen Copinger?
Yeah, so I'm appointed director. So that means that the board have appointed me. So I don't have a ward as such, even though I'm in Taranaki and are able to do anything for the Taranaki ward. I'm not their actual ward member. So I have all the same rights and stuff as a normal board member, but I've just been appointed from the board to fulfill a space that wasn't taken up by a nominated director.
So Wayne Taylor stood down this year after over 20 years on the board of directors, and he was the Taranaki Manawatu board director. Sadly, no one put their name forward for the position, so Bradley got called up to fill it, but I think we're excited to see what you can bring to the board. So, Braydon, you're an associate board director. So, this again, first ever one that Holstein Friesian's had. Do you want to explain to us what the difference between you and our other board directors is?
So the key difference is that there's no voting right as an associate director. Still in all the meetings, still sit there, contribute to all discussion, make sure all the members' voices are being heard in any kind of discussion, make sure that's being contributed and it's actually being discussed in any decision-making process. But essentially no voting right, and so I won't be able to make any motion essentially in an associate role. So the associate role is just elected for 1 year. The other purposes, I suppose, of the associate role is to provide younger people or anyone that's kind of interested in governance but potentially is wanting to work and to understand the organisation a bit more or understand governance a bit more for a year, then maybe then look at other roles beyond that.
So as part of Holstein Friesian and the board, we have multiple committees, such as the Sire Proving Committee and Discovery Committee, and as Braydon and I mentioned before, the Black and White Youth Committee. As members of the board, I'm sure that you're on one or two of those. Bradley, what committees are you part of this year?
This year I'm on the classification committee, so we've got a bit going on with that. So they've brought me onto there with a few new changes that might happen in the classification. And I'm also on the Black and White Youth Committee, which I was also on 20 odd years ago when that first started in the original. So they're the two that I'm on this year, and we'll see how they get on.
Braydon, are you on any committees with us?
Okay, at this stage, any committee. Only been to the one meeting that we've had till this date of this podcast. But yeah, another one coming up soon, and I looking forward to hopefully being involved with maybe the finance risk sort of committee, but sort of any other committees I can be involved with, I'll try and make the most to be in there and where I get the chance to be. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm sure we've got things that we can get you to do, I promise.
Pleased to help though.
So I guess the best thing that we really need to cover is what you're hoping to be able to bring to the Holstein Friesian board during your tenure. Who wants to start? Don't both jump at it at the same time.
Alrighty then. Yeah, I guess in an associate role without the voting rights, two probably main things I want to contribute. One, being able to just ensure that the members' wants and desires are actually brought forward and contributed into any discussions that we do have. So even though I may not have the voting rights and be able to make a motion on what the members will want, I can ensure that that's still talked about and considered in the decision-making process. The other thing that I think I'll be able to add value to is also being youth, understanding some of the firsthand what we do as an association over the last sort of 10, 15 years, 20 years, what they've been able to do for youth and what kind of value I've received from it. I understand from that perspective what we need to do and what we can do certain things differently or better, or what we should continue to do. The other part that I just wanted to add was, given some of the governance experience and courses that I've sort of been involved with, and on a daily basis I'm sitting around some tables with trusts and companies, I'm discussing more of a farm board governance type of role rather than an association. It's a little bit different, but being in a governance position in general, I've been able to learn a lot about process and proper process that should be run in a board meeting. So already from one meeting, being able to see some opportunity and value that I can provide from insights into how we may be able to run certain things better, how we may be able to set up a meeting and agenda differently to ensure we get the value out of the time that we have to discuss members' issues or in general the things that we need to discuss as a board, but also even just ensure we get the information flowing from the general manager and staff through the board papers. There's a way to set that up that I've mentioned already, but I'll continue to ensure that we get the information required for the board to be able to make key decisions to ensure we get the members' desires through in our decisions.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think change is always a good thing. We're always learning, and it's always good to improve things. So I think it's great that you've got that experience behind you that you can come forward and actually offer some improvements that you feel could be made to the board. How about you, Bradley? What are you hoping to bring to the members from being on the board?
As you just said, Amelia, what am I going to bring from the members? I think I just need to bring what the members want, really. We're all created this association from our members, and so that's why we need to just carry on. As we said earlier in our discussion, I'm a fourth generation of a pedigree breeders, so I want it to carry on for another 4 generations at least. So the big thing there is just to keep the association going in the right direction, new and innovative for our breeders and members, and just keep things going. So we have got things to go to and talk to people about. And, I think back, I know we all talk about COVID and everything else, but it's amazing how, I really took out of COVID, how I missed talking to people, seeing people, all that sort of stuff. And it really showed what our association gave us, that opportunity to be able to still talk to people and get out and do stuff. So that's the big thing for me, is we just need this association to carry on. We need it to, as I say, keep coming up with new and innovative ways of doing things. And I suppose the other main thing is just to give back. I've received a lot of things over my time being part of the association, and I just need to give back. And thanks for those things that I received, the trips that I got, the learnings from what I have. So I'm there for that. I'm also a farmer as well, so I need value add from my business and our breed society and all those things. We need to be able to carry on farming for the rest of our lives, so that's why we need our association to carry on and keep going. So yeah, there for the members and there for our farm as well. So that's why I think I'm on the board.
And I think a lot of people see breed societies as a bit of a dying breed, excuse the pun. Do you think there's still value to breed societies within the dairy industry in New Zealand?
I mean, I think registrations of animals really are improving our data quality. So we actually can utilise that to validate a lot of our bulls and a lot of our information for better genetic improvement in our New Zealand herd. So I think there's real key benefit there. Beyond that, there's also benefit in actually, for some farmers, and a financial advantage from their animals, and being able to find other income streams with those animals, or potentially higher valued animals in general. So I think there's a real benefit to associations having been able to register certain breeds, being able to push certain breeds further, focus on their genetic gain, where probably hasn't been good enough in my mind in the last many years. So been fortunate in this position now, hopefully being able to articulate what we need to do in some of these meetings to actually push the association forward to improve genetic gain will be really exciting in my mind to be able to be contributing to. I think Bradley brought up a really key point before around why it's important. In terms of the members, without the members, this association doesn't exist. What the members do and what they're passionate about is what the association should represent. And in many ways it does, I believe, but we could improve that and push that further so that we get more value for our members. And that's where I see the certain value being genetic gain, the likes of better data to improve our national herd, but marketability of our animals and value in general, financial value of some of our animals being registered members. Yeah.
I agree that without members, we don't have an association, and without members, I don't have a job. So I appreciate our members, and I love having conversations with them. I also love forcing them to do podcast episodes with me just for entertainment value. And it's a great way for us to reach back to our members as well. So that's awesome. What do you think the members need to do to get through to you guys for any changes they want to make? Because as you said, it's up to the members. Do you think they need to give us a bit more feedback, give you guys a bit more feedback? Where do you think that needs to come from?
Probably the big thing is just communicate. If you've got something you want to talk about or get done, get hold of us. It's not hard. Well, I'm at enough things, that's for sure, shows and sales and animal days and that. So, if there's anything that needs to be talked about or discussed, then just come up with it. As a board director, we are made to take your thoughts to the board. So anything like that's not a stupid question or a stupid suggestion. Once we take it, then the board will discuss it. So making contact. If you want to write emails. I'm not that technologically savvy, but communicate if you have issues, and we'll try and deal with them as we can.
key point here is communication's key. We can't read everyone's minds, and we need you to actually pick up the phone and talk to us. I'm very, very approachable, keen as to have someone calling me and talking about it. Always appreciate that and enjoy it, and then I can take that information, whether it need to be anonymous or not, happy either way to take that and actually contribute to the decision-making process and at a board, around the board table. So yeah, just pick up the phone.
I haven't met a dairy farmer yet that's not happy to talk on the phone about cows. So if you find me one, let me know. But from like my point of view, all of our board directors are very approachable. More than happy. I'm at events all the time, but you guys are always more than happy to talk to everybody and make your way around a room. You seem to be very good at that. I know I'm not, so I appreciate it. But I think as board directors, you have a lot to offer to our members, so it's a great opportunity for the members to get their point across if they do make that effort and come up and talk to you, or give you a call just to see what's the best way for them to get something out of the association in their view to help things improve. As I said, change is always a good thing, and I feel for a breed society to continue and be successful, we need to continue to improve and bring in new members and everything like that. So getting the opinions of young people is something that I think definitely helps the association improve in the long run as well. So glad that you both are willing to go this extra mile and help out our members, as I said. So I love throwing just like random side question that's got nothing to do with farming. You guys are both heavily involved in, Bradley's works on a farm, Braydon works with farmers all the time, and you both show cattle. Do you have anything that you do that's not farming related? The way that Braydon's looking at me is telling me that the answer is no.
I drive trucks.
Semi-farming related, but sure, Bradley.
A good old holiday, seeing other farms, I suppose, overseas and that. That's not necessarily New Zealand farming related.
Why do dairy farmers do this? Although I can't say I don't. I was really excited when I went to Canada and saw a really nice red Holstein at Calgary Stampede. But still, why do you all do this?
I guess it's what you get energy from, right? For me, it's what I love doing and enjoy doing. So, and your time out, it's my hobby as well as my job. It's probably why I love my job so much. I get to see cows all the time and work with cows. So, yeah, being able to do this spare time is just exhilarating.
Well, as I said before, the family holidays around here are going to shows and that sort of stuff. And, it's just what it's part of. It's just doing it. And I remember as a kid, we did exactly the same thing. And it's just what you enjoy, I suppose. It's what we want to do. It's what we do.
True dairy farmers and pedigree breeders through and through. So I think it's time to wrap it up. We've had a lot of technical difficulties tonight, so hopefully this has flowed all right. So thank you so much to Bradley and Braydon for joining us today and sharing what you were planning on bringing to the board during your tenure in the next year. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys bring to our board and to the association as a whole. If the members want to get in contact with you about anything, where's the best place for them to go?
I'm happy for anyone to contact me through Facebook, social media, Messenger, or my phone number you get from the Holstein Friesian office. Also my email, happy to be reached in any of those avenues. But yeah, do reach out. Happy to talk.
Bradley?
I'll communicate, as I said before. I'm not quite up to social media and all that sort of stuff, but can definitely push the green button on the phone if somebody rang, or send an email, or otherwise just come and catch up with us at the next show or sale or whatever I'm at. Just come and see me and have a yarn.
Awesome. So if you have any questions about today's topic or any other topics you would like us to talk about, you can get in contact with me through our website, Facebook, or Instagram, which is all linked in our show notes. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your feedback tonight and all of this information that you've given us to try and help our members understand our board of directors a little bit more. And to our listeners, thanks for listening. I will be back next month with a new guest and a new topic. Until then, happy farming. Bye.